6 o'clock. Anybody out in the waiting room or online for public comment?
No.
Okay. Do a roll call. RJ.
Here.
Randy. Here. And I'm here. Okay, approval of the minutes.
My name is spelled wrong. That matters.
The last thing?
Yes.
Yep, it does.
Second motion with the correction.
Oh, missing a G.
All in favor, say aye. All right. So we're gonna start with the wonderful healthcare costs. So we had talked about healthcare costs last year a little bit. But now, for sure, the current plan that we are under is gonna not be offered. So there's several options out here, and Kim has called and talked to them, and I think the plan of attack was maybe to let the 3 people that we have kind of look at cost of what is covered by copays and different things, and maybe we can narrow some of the options down from this 19 or 20, whatever options that we have here. But I can tell you that the cost of healthcare is just getting, out of control. So I don't know. I think on page number 14, you'll see our current plan, which is the gold 1250, what the cost is, and gives you kind of annual breakdown at the bottom of, currently have 3 employees using the healthcare. So obviously one of them is from the library, and that takes up a lot of our budget over there. Healthcare is a huge thing for sure. So I don't know if you guys have any questions or kind of looked at this, I guess, but we have to make a decision probably by next time, because April or May 1st, we have to make a change.
And we have to renew on April 1st, so we have to have our licenses fixed. He did go through kind of an overview of all of the plans that are on these papers. He said that option 1 and 2 of the Blue Care Network is the most comparable to what we have right now, and will probably cover everyone's doctors that we have. There are other options that were close to what we're paying in the HAP, but they're HMOs and probably won't cover most of the doctors that people are already using, and I believe it was their co-pays were a little different too. He kind of put them in order of what he thought was the most comparable to what we already have. He said Blue Care Network, he's like 99.9% will have the same coverage as McLaren did as far as doctors.
So it does look like, if you look at them, I mean, there's different coverages and what they get, but money wise.
Yeah, it's pretty
They're very-
comparable.
yeah.
It's actually a little.
I mean, all the way
Some
across,
spots.
yeah. There's a few there's one that's 2,700, but it's like a silver, and then there's a couple that are more expensive, like
Right.
the gold.
These are the only 3 employees in the city that have health insurance. That are.
That are currently
so-
taking-
That have
opted. And they pay for this, their premium, or the city pays for this?
City pays totally.
Okay. So any time could there be more employees then? Is that?
I think if you're full-time, you qualify
Yeah.
to have healthcare, and you can opt in or opt out. So we don't do it for part-time.
Right. Well, I'm just
If you're-
thinking that we have a lot more employees.
Yeah.
I just wasn't aware.
Well, actually, I think you, Nick, Sandra, Dave, and Paula was, and Dan, I think those are all the people that would have qualified. Yeah,
Anybody that was
so we have part-time people. So anyway, well, I think the plan is that you're gonna kind of talk more to the three people.
Yeah, we're
what their
gonna-
thoughts are.
We talked to Dave a little bit about it, but, yeah, there's a website they can go on and look and see, you know, underneath these different plans and see what they're covered, what it's gonna be for them, and I mean, if they like the plans, I mean, I think we should give them the three top that he suggested, and then let them, you know, choose from those three.
So what was the third one? Option one, option two, what was the third one?
It was the HAP one,
Which number is that?
it is 13.
Oh. What's the number two? And did you tell Nick and Sandra as well?
We haven't yet. We were waiting to see if that was what you wanted to do, was just kind of narrow them down to, you know, the comparable. Money for us, money for them, doctors covering. The half one was the one that you just didn't think that their doctors could probably
I
be in
know,
that same plan.
I do know that the blue care network will be fine because we have that before we get the clearance.
Yeah,
What do y'all think? I guess it seems reasonable to me.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking very comparable price rises we've had in the past. I mean,
and if anything, the cost is less, right, on option 1 and 2 versus,
there is a little
current.
bit of, yeah, in certain things, yeah,
but the overall.
like their
6.
deductibles and stuff actually go down, and they really don't, and it's not much of an increase. You know, for us, and you're talking, this is current, they probably would have went up anyways, so, you know, that's what we were paying, so.
Well, like option 1 and 2 is like $2,000 less a year, right? So, am I reading this wrong?
option which one?
For,
On page
Oh, yeah.
14, the overall
Oh, yeah,
annual
yeah,
total
yeah,
premium,
yeah,
like none of them appear to be higher than
No.
the clear plan, correct?
no,
At least from option 1 and 2. Unless you go to PHP.
yeah. And then, yeah, those are kind of the higher ones.
Well, personally, I mean, we've never asked employees to put in. I know there are other cities that do, but I feel like that at this point, I think we're happy with offering another good package deal, I guess, based on income and benefits, you know, the package deal.
Yep.
Do you feel the same, Roger?
I'm sorry, say that
I
again.
said there are some cities that do require their employees to put in for the healthcare, but I
Right.
feel like that our package deal is kind of. I feel like that's what we should stay with at this point.
Is there any incentive for them to not take the insurance?
Sounded like they never paid an incentive to not take it, in my understanding, is that correct?
Well, you get a basic is, if you don't take it, you get the basic card that's $2,500.
Okay,
That you can use.
like a
for-
health savings card, like,
Kind of, yeah, yeah,
okay,
So all full-time employees get the $2,500 card. If they don't, so if they have like spousal health insurance, you can at least use your spouses and then still get the $2,500.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is some sort of incentive.
yeah,
I was trying to figure out why people want to use the free insurance.
right. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess.
Well, I
most
get
of them-
insurance from East Lansing, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
mine
will
is,
stay on there.
yeah, and mine is, my husband's is free too, so
Okay,
no sense in me taking it.
but you still get $2,500.
Yeah.
Cool.
all right, so nothing to really make any. Well, I mean, I guess we could make a suggestion that we thought to narrow it down when the city council comes up or whatever, but I think we break it to council and see what their thoughts are.
Mhm.
All right, next up is budget. So I kind of went back and looked last year, like when we received the preliminary budget and how we went through, because there is actually a deadline from the state, and last year, May 15th, we had a special meeting to do the final. So between now and then, there was a series of it was submitted to us preliminary, I think in December or January. In January, it says review preliminary budget. It was submitted to us January 9th. We had a budget workshop where Paula went through so that people could understand the process, because it is kind of, you know, a long long reports and different, you know, how to review it and stuff like that. In February, the budget was submitted to city council, or, March, it was resubmitted to the proposed budget in March.
And that's what
So we're,
Kathy and I are-
and that's where we're heading towards. So,
Kathy and I have been working on it, trying to figure out where we put in all the numbers. And
Right.
There's spreadsheets out there and we just gotta figure out how to put all those numbers. I was looking at,
Right.
last year's and the year before and figure it out so that we will be fully ready by March to submit that.
and I think preliminarily what happens is that each department, like, the chief, they kind of submit and then they kind of work it into the schedule and the library submits, they're supposed to have theirs here too by, I think April 1st, I think was the charter or whatever. But it all then just gets pushed into the document, that will come through, but there is a hard deadline for that particular thing. So I think we're going towards it. And we submitted the budget last time preliminary where we were, and I don't know if anybody had any questions after looking over that, I guess. All right. All right, so Paula had kind of gotten to the point where she was reviewing things on the agenda and finance committee and giving us kind of a heads up. So I'm just putting it on there. I don't really know when I looked over the schedule, if there was anything besides healthcare that I felt like we needed to go over, but, did you guys notice anything, I guess?
You wanna just keep that on there?
Yeah, because then she was kind of just giving us like a little bit of a heads up kind of stuff. Like when the fire truck came through and that, different things like that.
Right.
So she's been doing that the last, I would say 6 months at least. I remember, so I thought it was nice. So, is there anything else, I guess? Gotta obviously pay the bills.
Yep.
So. Alright. So, somebody wanna adjourn? Looks like it. You think we're good? Good to go, yeah.
So that's it.
All right.
6:13. Meeting adjourned.